I caught her cheating. Not through a message. Not through a rumor. I saw it. With my own eyes. In the back room of the laundromat near our apartment. She wasn't even hiding. She was with the janitor, one of those guys who scrubs the floor and cleans out lint traps. I stood there, frozen. And then she looked up and laughed. That laugh never left me. You'll understand why I can't forget it when you hear what she did next. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I remember because I got off work early. My manager told me I'd been putting in too many hours and forced me to take half the day off. I didn't argue. I thought, great, I'll surprise her. Maybe take her to dinner. Maybe finally feel close again. We'd been drifting, not fighting, just off. She stopped smiling at me, started locking her phone, wouldn't kiss me goodbye like she used to. I chalked it up to stress. That's how pathetic I was. I even thought, maybe if I folded all our laundry for once, it'd help. She hated doing it. So I packed our bags and went to the self-serve place down the street, the one she always used. But when I got there, I saw her car already in the lot. At first, I smiled. Thought maybe she had the same idea. Maybe we'd laugh about it. But when I went inside, she wasn't near the machines. I looked around, nothing. Then I heard voices from the back room. Laughing. Loud. Male. Something in my chest twisted. The door to the back was slightly open. I peeked in. She was there. Bent over a folding table. Skirt hiked up. Him, one of the janitors I'd seen before, behind her. Filthy uniform. Hands on her hips. Trash bin right next to them, overflowing. And she wasn't ashamed. She was laughing. Not the laugh she gave me. Not gentle. Not sweet. This was something else. Wild. Raw. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been 10 seconds or 2 full minutes. Then she looked up, saw me, and smirked. Didn't cover herself. Didn't apologize. She just said, wow, you even do your own laundry now? That's new. The janitor chuckled, not even stopping. He looked at me like I was nothing. I backed away. Out the door. I heard her yell after me, close the door on your way out, sweetie. I did. I walked home, bag still in my hand. Clothes still dirty. I sat on the couch for 4 hours without moving. No TV. No lights. Just the echo of her voice and that laugh. And then, like a fool, I texted her. Me, can we talk? She replied one word. Her. About what? The next day, she came home like nothing happened. Dropped her bag on the floor. Took off her shoes. Looked at me sitting at the kitchen table and said, you're still in yesterday's clothes. I opened my mouth. No words came out. She walked to the fridge, grabbed a soda, cracked it open, and leaned against the counter like we were having a casual afternoon chat. So, what do you want to talk about? She said. I felt like I was sinking into the chair. My voice came out small. Why am? She took a sip. I don't know. Why not? My hands were shaking. I gripped the edge of the table to hide it. You could have talked to me. She tilted her head and said, what? Hi, honey, I'm bored. Can I spice things up with a man who smells like bleach and mops floors for a living? Come on. I looked down. My throat tightened. She walked over, stood right next to me. I could smell the detergent from the laundry place on her jacket. That broke me more than anything. Look, she said, you're sweet. Really? But you don't make me feel anything. You're just there. Like a pet. I flinched. She saw it and smiled. You're not mad? She asked, like she was testing me. I just want to fix it, I whispered. I still love you. She actually laughed. You love me, she said. After what I did? I nodded. Of course you do, she said. You always were the type. I tried to stand. She pressed a hand on my shoulder, held me down. You're not going to yell? Throw something? Call me names? No, I said. I want to understand. She crouched down next to my chair. You don't need to understand. You just need to accept it. And then she whispered something I can't forget. You're not angry because deep down, you know you're not enough for me. Tears slipped down my face. I didn't even try to stop them. She stood back up, finished her soda, tossed the can in the sink, and walked to the bedroom. Oh, she said before closing the door, he's coming over tomorrow. I expect you to be out of the apartment for a few hours. You don't want to make it weird. The door shut. I sat there, alone, staring at the spot she just stood in. I didn't sleep that night, but I did make a decision. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg, but I was going to make her regret every word she'd just said. She didn't even try to hide it. The next day, I walked out like she told me. I didn't know where to go. I just wandered the streets with my phone in my pocket, hands shaking. It was cold. I didn't wear a jacket. I didn't care. I came back after dark. Quiet. Careful. Her laugh was coming from the bedroom. Same laugh. Different man. I sat in the kitchen, lights off, just listening. I didn't cry this time. I didn't yell. I didn't even blink. I just stared at the wall, counting every second. When he left, I heard her tell him, "Don't worry about him. He's harmless." That was the moment something shifted in me. Harmless. That's what I'd become to her. Not even a person. Just background noise. So I opened my laptop. Started a new folder. Labeled it, Exit Plan. Step 1. Gather everything. I already had access to her cloud. She forgot I set up her backup years ago. I started pulling screenshots. Texts. Photos. Conversations she had with not just the janitor, but 2 other guys. One of them worked at a tire shop. The other, some guy she called Garage Boy. She was proud of it. In the messages, she called me Mr. Clean, said I was so gullible it hurts, told one of them, he still thinks I'm going through a phase. Isn't that cute? I saved everything. Step 2. Money. She didn't know I'd been helping with her taxes the last 3 years. Her Etsy store? Yeah, she hadn't reported half of what she made. I had records. I had receipts. I had proof. I made copies. Quietly. Methodically. Step 3. Her job. She worked part-time doing admin for a small local real estate office. Nothing big. But she always bragged about how she used the company printer for personal fun. I found the documents. Private property appraisals, lease agreements, even scanned IDs from tenants. All stored on her personal drive. All completely illegal. I didn't touch it. Not yet. I just documented it. Because if I was going to do this, it had to be perfect. No yelling. No smashing plates. No public scenes. I wanted her to feel it slow. To wonder when it started. To panic without knowing which direction the fire was coming from. I wasn't built for revenge. I didn't have the confidence, or the charm, or the steel nerves. But I had time. I had information. And for the first time in weeks, I had something else too. Control. The morning I launched the first part of the plan, she was still asleep. Hair a mess. One arm over her pillow. Peaceful, like she hadn't spent the night disrespecting everything we once were. I stood in the doorway for a second. Just long enough to feel nothing. Then I left. I walked 3 blocks to a cafe, ordered the cheapest coffee on the menu, and opened my laptop. The folder on the desktop was ready. Everything was organized. Labeled screenshots, timestamped text messages, PDF scans of her using her company login to print personal documents, leases, client IDs, even a blank check template she once bragged about editing for emergencies. I took a breath. Then I sent it. To her company's HR. Subject line. Urgent, confidentiality violation, evidence attached. No signature. No threats. Just a polite anonymous note. I thought you should be aware. This may be a liability for your office. I walked out of that cafe without looking back. Around 3 p.m., she called. I let it ring. Then the text came in. Her. Did you mess with my job? Her. What did you send? Her. Answer me. I didn't. When she got home, the storm hit. Door slammed. Keys tossed on the floor. Her heels clicked hard against the tile. She didn't even look at me. Straight to the bedroom. I stayed on the couch, flipping through channels like nothing was happening. But I heard her. Pacing. Then whispering on the phone. No. I didn't send that to anyone. What do you mean confidential breach? Those were just reference files. Silence. Then her voice cracked. You're suspending me? That was the moment. That breath. That pause. That fracture in her voice? That was the sound of control leaving her body. She hung up, stepped into the living room, and stared at me. You think this is clever? She said. You want me to lose everything? I didn't say a word. She crossed her arms, trying to stay composed. I'll get another job. Better one. And when I do, I'm taking this apartment. You'll be the one on the street. I just looked at her. Calm. Then said softly, you're not the only one who can build something, you know. She laughed bitterly. You? Build? You can barely look me in the eye without crying. And she was right. I used to cry. Used to. Now I was doing something else. I was learning. That night she didn't post her usual self-care story. Didn't blast music. Didn't text anyone, at least, not near me. She sat on her bed and stared at her phone for hours, waiting for someone to rescue her. No one did. I had made the first move. She knew it. She didn't know what was coming next. And that was exactly the point. She always knew how to smile through a lie. But now she turned it into a weapon. The day after she got suspended from work, she didn't cry, didn't sulk, didn't beg. She retaliated. First, it was subtle. I noticed her phone blowing up with messages and her fingers flying across the screen like she was directing a movie. I didn't ask. I didn't speak. I just watched. Then it started. A post on her social media. A long one. Carefully written. Attached was a blurry photo of me taken from across the room. My face half shadowed. The caption? Sometimes the quiet ones turn dangerous. I don't feel safe anymore in my own home. Within an hour, her friends were flooding the comments. Leave him. You don't owe anyone your safety. Get out before it's too late. That evening, a friend of hers, someone we did dinner with once, texted me directly. I don't know what's going on, but if you hurt her, I'll make sure everyone knows. I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself. I still thought I could stay quiet, be better than her. But I underestimated how fast poison spreads once it's released. She told people I was obsessed, that I'd been tracking her, that I had violent mood swings. She told them I hacked her phone, that I threatened to expose her. None of it was true, but it didn't matter, because the damage was done where I couldn't reach it, inside people's minds. She posted again the next day, another picture, this time of her holding a coffee mug, looking out the window, wrapped in a blanket, trying to stay strong, trying to stay safe. The implication was clear. People started messaging me weird things. Some blocked me outright. Even one of my old coworkers emailed me. Hey man, I don't know what's happening, but I saw her post. I think you need help. Seriously. I was losing control of the narrative. And worse, I couldn't prove anything without revealing what I had. If I went public, I'd look like I was stalking her. Like I had been digging into her life because I was bitter. She had me in check. Again. That night, she came into the living room with a glass of wine. Calm. Confident. Still feel like a genius? She asked. I didn't answer. She leaned in close and whispered, everyone believes me, because I know how to cry in front of the right people. She smiled, walked away, and I sat there, crumbling. Because she wasn't wrong. I was losing. She thought she'd buried me. Friends stopped calling. Old coworkers ghosted me. Even my own sister texted me. I don't know what you're doing to her, but this isn't the brother I know. She had turned everyone against me, and I let her. Until I didn't. I remembered something. Power isn't about who talks louder. It's about who listens longer. So I stopped reacting. I started building again. First, I made copies of everything. Not for the police. Not yet. But for people who mattered. Quiet people. Real people. I created a private folder. No names. Just screenshots. Dates. Audio clips. Video stills from our apartment cam. She forgot I installed it back when we were trying to communicate better. One of the videos showed her sitting on the couch, laughing with the janitor, saying, he's so stupid, he actually cried when I told him I was seeing someone else. Like real tears. I almost felt bad. Almost. Another video, her bragging to a friend on speakerphone about how easy it was to spin the social media story. Then came the texts. She called me emotionally weak. Said I was the safest man to cheat on, he'll just collapse. That one hit deep. But I saved it. I packaged it all into a link. No name. No context. Just, this is the other side of the story. Decide for yourself. And I sent it. Not to everyone. Just to the right people. Her manager at the real estate office. The friend who texted me the threat. 2 of her influencer contacts. Even her sister, the only person in her family who'd ever looked me in the eye and said, you seem too good for her. I didn't write a single word of defense. No emotion. No plea. Just truth. And then I waited. 2 days later, I got a message from her sister. I saw it. She's not who I thought she was. I'm sorry for ever doubting you. Then one of her brand partners reposted an old story of hers with a note. We do not tolerate deception. This person no longer represents our values. That night, she came home furious. Stormed into the living room. You think you're clever? I looked up from the floor, where I'd been folding my own laundry. Yeah, I went back to doing it myself. No laundromat. No noise. I think I'm patient, I said. She stood there, stunned. I can sue you for this, she snapped. Leaking private stuff. That's illegal. I stood slowly. Try, I said quietly. But remember, every lie you tell under oath becomes a charge. For the first time in weeks, she backed up. Just one step. But it was enough. I didn't need her to cry. I just needed her to know. I wasn't afraid of her anymore. I should have seen it coming. For every time I hit, she hit back harder. Not with strength, with precision. And this time, she didn't attack me directly. She attacked what was left of my future. It started with a phone call. Blocked number. Voice too calm. Hi, Mr. Warren. This is Karen from HR at Mercer and Clay. I'm calling regarding a reference check for a recent job application. My chest tightened. I had applied for a low-level admin role 2 weeks ago. Something to get back on my feet. I had a quiet interview. No issues. They said they'd be calling my listed references. I'd used my old manager, a mentor, and a former client. Apparently, that wasn't enough. Before we moved forward, Karen continued, we came across some concerns shared by a third party. We received an anonymous email with screenshots alleging inappropriate behavior, emotional instability, and online harassment. Do you have a comment? I couldn't speak. I asked her to forward the email. She did. It was a new burner address. Different from the last time. But the style was hers. Cold. Polished. Just enough to sound credible. Included were snippets of old texts, one she edited to remove her parts. One photo of me looking disheveled, which she'd clearly taken after one of our fights. And worst of all, a line. We're concerned he may be attempting to start over in your company to continue a cycle of manipulation. I emailed back, explained it was fake. Sent my own proof. But the damage was done. They chose another candidate. I wasn't even mad. I was numb. When I came home, she was in the kitchen. She looked up from her phone, saw my face. Smiled. I told you, she said. Every door you try to open, I'll be standing behind it. I sat on the couch. Couldn't look at her. You don't even care what you've become, do you? I asked. She shrugged. You think this is new? She said. You're just seeing who I really am now. And deep down, you like it. That's why you're still here. She was wrong. I wasn't there because I liked her. I was there because I wasn't done. But in that moment, she had me again. I spent the night scrolling job boards with no replies. She posted another photo. Her. With the same fake smile. Captioned. He keeps trying. I almost feel bad. Almost. And the likes rolled in. She wasn't just winning. She was enjoying it. I stopped trying to fix my name. Let her smear it. Let people talk. Instead, I focused on one thing. Finishing what I started. She thought she broke me. And maybe she had. But she forgot something. I still had the IRS. Remember her little side hustle? That Etsy store she bragged about? The one where she sold fake wedding decorations and marked everything up 400%? She hadn't reported a cent in 2 years. And I had the receipts. Literally. I filed a formal complaint. Whistleblower form. Attached every screenshot, every bank transfer, every saved invoice she emailed me when I helped her balance her books because QuickBooks gives me a headache. Then I waited. 2 weeks. Then one morning, she woke up to a letter. IRS. Official seal. Thin envelope. She tore it open. Read. Went pale. Her hand actually shook. She didn't say a word to me for 2 days. But I wasn't done. I sent her previous employer a follow-up package. Anonymous, again. But this time, I included digital logs showing how she accessed tenant records and used scanned IDs to test online applications, something she once joked about while half-drunk on the couch. 2 days later, she got a certified letter. And the next morning, she had a panic attack. I heard her on the floor in the bathroom, gasping, trying to control her breath. I didn't rush to help. She eventually crawled to the bedroom. I heard her voice on the phone. Low. Panicked. She was trying to reach someone, maybe a lawyer, maybe her sister. No one answered. She was alone. And for the first time, she looked it. Later that night, she sat across from me at the table. No wine. No makeup. No smirk. I don't know what you're doing, she said. But you're going to regret it. I didn't answer. She leaned forward. You think this is revenge? You think I won't crawl my way out? I looked her dead in the eyes. You won't crawl anywhere if the IRS freezes your accounts. She blinked. And there it was. The fear. Real. Deep. Unmistakable. I stood up. You started this war in a laundromat, I said. I'm ending it in federal paperwork. She didn't follow me down the hall. She didn't post that night. No caption. No fake glow. Just silence. And for the first time since this all began, I slept. I thought I had her pinned. The tax complaint was real. The documents airtight. Her old employer was reviewing her conduct. And for a few days, she was quiet. No posts. No threats. just a nervous hum of activity behind the bedroom door. Then, like clockwork, she rose from the ashes. It started with a live video. She never went live. So when she did, people showed up. Over 2,000 viewers in under 10 minutes. She sat on our living room couch, her eyes puffy, her hair undone, no filters, no lipstick. She looked small, vulnerable, exactly how she wanted to look. "I've been quiet because I've been scared," she said, voice trembling. "Someone I used to love is trying to ruin me. He sent lies to my old job, filed fake complaints. I can't even sleep at night." She sniffled. "He wants me gone, erased. And the worst part is, he knows how to do it without leaving a single fingerprint." The comments exploded. "This is abuse. Press charges. He's a monster." She didn't say my name. She didn't have to. People knew. And I watched it all happen from the hallway. Out of frame. Out of breath. I wanted to scream. Smash something. Anything. But I didn't. I waited. The next day, my bank account was flagged. The small savings I had left frozen. Not much, but it was mine. Apparently, someone had anonymously reported me for suspicious transfers and possible fraud. I knew who did it. But the system didn't care who was right. Only who filed first. Then came the email from my landlord. "Due to ongoing public conflict and concern from other tenants, we will not be renewing your lease." I had 2 weeks to leave. She had turned the whole war back on me. She walked around the apartment that night humming. She didn't say a word. Didn't have to. She knew she'd won. But then something happened. Something she didn't plan for. She left her laptop open. Unlocked. I never touched her things. Even now, I hesitated. But something flickered on the screen. An email thread. Ongoing. To someone named Eli. Subject line. "Need to talk before he finds out." I clicked. And there it was. A single sentence from her to him. "If he ever sees this file, it's over for me." My heart stopped. There was an attachment. A folder labeled NDAs and contracts. She'd been running something bigger. Something hidden. Something illegal. I didn't open it yet. Just stared at the screen. Because right then, for the first time, I didn't just have a weapon. I had the weapon. I stared at the screen for 10 minutes. Didn't blink. Didn't move. Just read the subject line over and over. "If he ever sees this file, it's over for me." The folder was full. PDFs. Signed contracts. Agreements. Names. Dates. Most of them looked fake at first. But then I saw the logos. Real businesses. Real organizations. And something worse. Evidence of her faking invoices for consulting work she never did. Money laundering. Tax fraud. 2 identities, 1 bank account, 2 shell companies. She'd been cleaning money. Not for fun. For someone else. And I had all of it. I didn't need to hack. Didn't need to spy. She left it open. She thought I was too broken to look. So I copied it all. Quietly. Backed it up in 3 places. 1 on the cloud. 1 offline. 1 flash drive hidden under my car seat. I didn't touch her. Didn't threaten her. I just waited. And when she came home the next night, laughing on the phone with someone, probably Eli, I was already gone. I left a note on the table. 1 line. "Check your email." 10 minutes later, my phone rang. It kept ringing. Over and over. Then came the messages. Her. "Please. Call me. Please." Her. "Where did you find that?" Her. "We can talk. Please, let's talk." I didn't answer. She sent a voice note. Her voice was shaking. "I don't know how much you saw, but you can't send that to anyone. Please. You don't understand what'll happen. I'll lose everything." She paused. Then her voice cracked. "I'll go to jail." For once, the actress was gone. This was real. Then she showed up. She banged on my motel door for 15 straight minutes. I let her in. No words. She dropped to her knees. Literally. In front of the bed. Crying. Shaking. I was wrong. All of it. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please don't send it. I'll disappear. I'll give you everything. Just please, don't ruin me. I stood there, watching her. Not with hate. Not with love. With nothing. She sobbed. "I know I broke you. I know what I did. I deserve whatever's coming." She reached for my hand. "I'm begging you." I pulled the flash drive from my pocket. Held it up. Her breath caught. "Please," she whispered. And for a long time, I said nothing. Then I walked over to the bathroom, held the flash drive above the toilet, and dropped it in. She gasped. I flushed. Silence. She looked up. eyes red. Why? She said. I stared at her for a long time. Then finally, I said, because now you get to live with the fear that I could have destroyed you. And didn't. She didn't reply. She just knelt there. And I turned around. As I reached the door, I paused, glanced back once, and said the only thing left. What would you do in my place?